Hey guys, welcome back to the Journey Over My Journey. And again, this is part 2 of forgiveness. Now, I really want to dive into one of the biggest things in my healing journey was forgiving me. Forgiving yourself is one of the hardest things is because you have to face what we already talked about, which is acceptance and accountability of your actions and your choices. Especially when we do things over and over and over again, we make the same mistakes thinking that we're going to get different results. The biggest problem that I had with forgiving myself was acknowledging a lot of things that I did wrong, acknowledging the fact that I had a child with knowing that the father was not going to be around because he wasn't a good person and a good fit. But that was a choice that I made because I wanted what I wanted. A lot of times when we want what we want, we think and we have so much hope that a person will change, and we have to understand that we cannot change anyone. The only person that can change is themselves. Just like right now, you decided to get on a journey of healing, and the only person that was able to make that choice was you. So when it comes to forgiving you, you have to understand that it's going to be very hard. It's ugly. And the reason why I say that is because you have to be able to face your truth. You have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for putting you through the things that I knew better not to do. I'm sorry that I wanted what I wanted. And it's kind of hard to be selfish to yourself when you are making choices that are completely wrong. Like, for example, as I stated, I had a second child. And what was hard about that is because, one, I wasn't with the person when we had the child, but I had hope that maybe if we had a kid, something would change, something would spark that, okay, we should be a family, we should do this, we should do that. And I had to ask myself in my healing journey, did that really happen? Let me back up a little bit. Before I had my kid, what was the track record of this person? This person had numerous children. Nothing changed with those children, so why would they change with me? But we have hope when it comes to wanting a relationship with someone. We have hope when we want people to change. Even an example of, wanting a relationship with family members. We want people to change on our end, but are we really looking at them to change, or are we looking at ourselves to change? I had to really understand that I had to forgive me for allowing my selfishness. I had to understand that one day I'm going to have to talk to my daughter about why certain things or certain relationships you don't have with people. Just like I had to talk to my oldest daughter about the same thing. I was selfish, and now I have to talk to my youngest daughter about the same thing. And that was hard for me to do. That was hard for me to forgive myself because I had to accept my choice. When we have to accept the choices that we make, we have to acknowledge why we made that choice. I wanted what I wanted. I wanted this person to want me as much as I wanted them. I wanted a relationship. I wanted a family because I didn't grow up with the mom, the dad, that type of household that everybody wants to grow up in. I didn't grow up with the Cosby household, but I wanted my kid to have that. But when we don't put ourselves in the right position, when we don't put ourselves in a position of loving ourselves enough to wait, we cause ourselves to find that things happen. I don't regret anything that have ever happened to me. I think this is why I'm here today speaking with you, is that life puts us in situations that causes us to change. I had to ask for forgiveness, not only from God, but I had to ask for forgiveness from myself. And as a single mom, I even had to ask my oldest daughter for forgiveness because if you're like me, an 80s baby, had my child in my 20s, she grew up with me. And a lot of those times when when our children are growing up, while we are in our own healing journey, we can have issues. We can find tit for tats. We can find that things are not even going a certain way where we get frustrated, we get angry. And sometimes we do take it out on our children because we're frustrated in our own situations. We're frustrated with the choices that we made. They didn't ask for this. I remember sometimes that, I used to be very rebellious with my mom, and she'd be like, "Oh, I'm your mom. I brought you here. I take you out." And be rebellious. I didn't ask to be here. But that was some very hurtful words, because when my daughter ended up saying that to me, it was a smack in the face. But I also had to remember, we also have to see that we are a resemblance of our child. Our child is a resemblance of us. And when we are unforgiving to ourselves, we allow certain things to happen. Forgiving yourself is a task. The first thing we have to do when forgiving ourselves is acknowledge that we've wronged ourselves. We can't be so stuck on, "Oh, I need to forgive this person. You forgave that person." Especially if you watch the first video on why is it hard to forgive other people and what you need to do to forgive other people. We also need to have that same grace to yourself. Forgiving yourself is a very big part of healing, because you have to acknowledge you are a human being and you make mistakes. But in those mistakes, you can find joy, happiness, and an understanding of who you were then, so you can walk into your now. I am so thankful that I forgave myself, because I was able to even take others' opinions differently and in a different perspective, because when you forgive yourself, there is nothing anyone can say to you that you ain't said to yourself. There is nothing that someone can bring into your past, especially when they want to bring up your past. Everybody knows that when you're going through your healing journey, you're going to have those, "Oh, you remember when you did this? Oh, remember when you did that?" Yes, I do remember, but I'm not that person anymore. I've forgiven myself for the choices that I made in my past. And that's what I want you to do today. I want you to forgive the things that you've done in your past. I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, "I forgive you." We're going to go on this journey together. We're going to take every single thing, just like the letters that you had to write to the people that hurt you. Write yourself a letter. Let yourself know, because if you can't tell yourself some things, really, you're never going to be able to accept things that other people say to you. Because if you can't live in your own truth, how are you going to accept truth from other people? So I really challenge you to forgive you. Talk to you. Look yourself in the mirror and have that hard conversation. I forgive you for the choices that we made. I forgive you for not going to college because I wanted to pursue something else, knowing well that that wasn't the right way to go. I forgive you for having a child with someone that was never good for you. I forgive you for stepping out and leaving home when it was a little too early. I forgive you for allowing so many people to have an opinion on you instead of you having an opinion on yourself. So if I can say those things to myself in front of everyone right now, I know you can say some things that are very hard and honest, but it's truth. And can't no one take that truth away from you. So in this journey of healing, you have to understand it is not pretty. You have to understand it is very, very hard. But if you can push through, and that's praying until you see something happen. Push through that hardness. Push through that understanding. I guarantee you, you're going to come out better on the other end. So this is part 2. I hope you join me again for the journey over my journey, and I'll see you soon.